Joshua 22. Now the people of Israel are settled in the land of Canaan. The 2.5 tribes had inherited some land the other side of the Jordan River, to the east of Jordan, of the Jordan River. And the 10 tribes were a bit leery about that. It was all legitimate. God had allowed them to do that. And these 2.5 tribes built their own altar there, which again was quite legitimate. They're quite allowed to do that. And the 10 tribes came to them and said, "You're worshipping idols. That's why you built that altar. We're going to judge you. We're going to kill you." And they say here in verse 18, "You have rebelled today against Yahweh." And why were they so eager to accuse these other Israelites on the other side of the Jordan River of all this idolatry, rebellion against God? The scriptures are very clear, in the prophets particularly, that the whole people of Israel were rebellious against God from the day that he met them at Sinai. That is stated 6-7 times specifically, that they had been rebellious. They took the idols of Egypt with them through the Red Sea. They carried the tabernacle of Moloch as well as the tabernacle of Yahweh for 40 years in the wilderness. They worshipped the idols of Canaan from the minute they went in there. That includes the 10 tribes. Why were they jumping so mad against the 2 tribes and saying, "You're idolaters, you're rebels," when they were themselves? This is classic. This is called transference, where you know in yourself that you are guilty for something. And of course that should be punished, as it were. And so you jump on someone else who's doing the very thing that you're doing, or you think they might be, or you make gossip about them and say they're doing it, and then you judge them and want to beat them over it. That is a human tendency. That is where the root of gossip and slander. What do you do then with your guilt? Israel would have put their hand on the head of the sacrifice and the Day of Atonement, confess their sin over it, and see it dealt with in that animal that represented the Lord Jesus and his death. Accept your guilt, your own personal guilt. Don't put it on anybody else, and place it on the head of the Lord Jesus. Confess that sin, and he is your sin bearer, and you are free from it. And you don't need to go around putting it on anybody else.